Fort Prinsenstein.
Wow.
So this fort you are in today was put up by the Danes, Denmark, 1784.
1784.
So they started the construction from 1700, completed 1784.
Greetings and welcome back to the channel. If for the first time coming across my channel, please remember to subscribe. Now I've done a video like this already. I would call it part 1. And this is part 2 in my opinion. I'll put the brother channel in the description so that you can go and watch the full length video for yourself. But I'll watch it on here with you and make my analysis as well as you can comment. So let's check out this fort here in Ghana. This I personally have not heard about the Danish fort, and the man called it Fort Prinsenstein. So let's hear the tour guide breaking down certain things and come back.
84 years to complete the fort. So the Danes were buying enslaved Africans from Togo. You know, Togo is closer. Benin, Nigeria, and other parts of Gold Coast, now Ghana. So those slaves were brought into the fort by foot, in chains and shackles, barefooted, half naked. And they were kept over here for a month or two before being transported to America. Danish West Indies, the Caribbean. So each of the dungeons hold up to 100 enslaved Africans in those days. But initially, there was no ventilation. So ventilation was created by the British, who occupied the fort after the Danes left. So inside...
Do you want to say the Danes were more wicked than the British?
Yes, that's how it goes.
Okay, I want to digress a little and we'll come back. We went to Fort Prinsenstein and Adafua.
Yes.
And then the indigenes were giving us a different story. Like this whole thing is for education. They are trying to educate. And they were saying that Fort Prinsenstein was built in, not they were saying, it was built in 1783. That means that the year after it was completed, this was also completed. But they were saying that the Danes were rather trading in agricultural products like the oil palm and other things. You being an experienced tour guide in Ghana and knowing the history of slavery, do you think that statement is true? Was that the actual thing, or they just didn't know, or that was part of it?
You know, Fort Prinsenstein was built purposely for slavery. The Danes have 5 in Ghana. They have Christiansborg Castle in Osu-Accra as the headquarters for the Danish Norwegians traders at that time. And they have Augustaborg in Teshi. They have Fritzensborg, Oningo, Prinsenstein in Adan, and this Prinsenstein.
Prinsenstein.
So they were buying slaves from Togo and Neho Agbada for slave market in Togo. Wida, Gleper, Agbome, and Badagry. So all those slaves were brought into the fort and castles of the Danish Norwegian traders at that time. And they were kept for a number of days until the ship arrived before they were finally transported. So when they are saying for purposely for agriculture, I don't know what they mean. The Danes were in for slaves, and the slaves were taken to their island owned by them in America. Now U.S. Virgin Island. Formerly it was called West Indies. St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, where they have the sugarcane plantation. And they were selling the product, the sugar, the raw material to Copenhagen to process to sugar. So the Danes were here trading with our forefathers who saved us the middlemen between the interior and the European living here. So in those days, they used red hot iron with the name of the company on it, the Danish Royal Company, to burn marks at the various part of their body for identification. And the trade by then was so persuasive that even the smallest community, they have to go on the warpath in order to secure slaves, to get arms, to defend themselves when attacked.
When attacked by the same slaves again.
But when attacked, community attack one another.
Okay.
You know, there was intertribal warfare at that time. So when they capture you,
Intertribal warfare.
the market. That's why you have a Atopon slave market in our place over here.
Okay.
Just like how Asimanso, Salaga, Sandema, Pikro, Tetekrachi slave market is.
Okay.
So all those slaves were put on display over there, and they were sold to the highest bidders. And they also use shea butter, palm oil, rub the body of the slave just to make them very attractive to the buyer.
Wow.
And then,
That's called makeup.
yes. And some of them were shaved. Those who look old were shaved to look younger. And then Samori Babatus in the north, raiding, kidnapping, and all those slaves were channeled through Tetekrachi route to the fort over here.
Wow.
That's the route to the fort.
Okay.
Tetekrachi.
Okay.
That's the one of the oldest slave market.
Okay.
Supplying constant slave to Fort Pleasantine, and then the Cottonstein and other Danish. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now
So-
we are here.
The young slaves were counted as quarter, half to 10 piece of cargo, depending upon the estimated commercial value.
Okay.
So they make 3 children, price of 1 adult slave over
Wow.
here.
Wow.
So this is the female section of the fort. This the whole of this place. So when you pass the passage over there, that's the male portion
That's the main portion.
to the gate of no return.
The gate of no
Yes.
return. Wow.
So the entire of this place is the female section,
Female section.
of the fort. And this is the ocean block. This is where they buy the slaves.
This place.
Yes.
Wow.
This is where they buy them, selected them, and physically examine them before finally transporting them out of the fort.
Okay. So if they are physically examining them, what do they look for? The physical
They,
examination.
they will look at your skin, whether your skin is looking fresh.
Okay.
Yes. They will count the teeth of the slaves.
Ooh. Whether it's 32.
They will open your eyes whether you are looking healthy before. So commercial slaves, the strong ones were regarded as a commercial slaves, and then the weak ones were regarded as a domestic slave.
Oh.
So they separate them over here.
Commercial slaves.
Slaves. They have the commercial slaves and then the domestic slaves. The strong, heavy slaves were regarded as commercial slaves.
So the commercial slave, what do they use them for?
The plantations.
Wow.
A domestic one.
For homework.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay. So this place, what?
So this is one of the dungeons. So let's see this one.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes. We have more dungeons. Over here, this is where the female slave bath. So the governor stand at the top and make his choice from the top. Yeah. Select.
As they are bathing.
Yes. And he points at them.
So how do you bath?
Then they stand there. 4 of them.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. So they will be bathing over here, and he will stand there and make his choice. That security, send me this one.
Send me this one. It's nice.
So then they will bath that particular slave well.
Wow.
Send him to his bedroom straight at the top. So he was raping, sleeping with our mothers. That resulted into the mulattoes we have in Qatar. You can see family, Priest, Citrus, Mam, Anderson, Peterson, Nelson, Walk. Those families in name around here, bearing the name of the former governors of the fort. Yes.
Okay.
They now use it as a surname. You see, so when they conceive, they leave them around, and after they deliver, the mother will be taken away, and the child remain with them. They were groomed, they were interpreting the language.
The mother will be taken away.
Yes. Yes, they
will still go and sell you.
Yeah.
After
sleeping with you.
And giving birth.
Yes. After
and then they name the children after them.
Yes.
Like your child's mother, you sold your child's mother. That's very cruel.
So the child stayed with them over here. They become the interpreters, helping their business to grow at that time.
Wow.
Even the water, the most sad aspect of it, the water they bath remains here in case they are thirsty. They drink the same water they bath with. They drink the same water they bath with.
This is sad.
You know, in those days, they killed our traditional system of worship, the European. So when they came, they realized that our ancestors worship. They worship they pray to the gods to Almighty. So the God that we have serve as a mediator. So they killed our traditional system of worship that we should follow theirs. So when they came here, this is where our ancestors worship. So they prevent
us to be a shrine.
Yes. So they prevent our forefathers from worshiping over here.
So to prevent you from worshiping,
they build up
away your place of worship and build
around it. Yes. So the sign remain here up to today. I'll open the shrine for you.
Okay. So the shrine, they didn't destroy it. They just built around it.
Yes. They wanted to destroy, but let me see.
I realize you remove your slippers.
Yes. It's a way of.
I like what he did there. He first removed his shoes and then he knocked a couple of times. I think 3 times. We could learn something from that. Let's proceed.
So they didn't destroy anything. They just built around it.
The one who will do the consultation, will sit down, the cheapest. They will call our patient over here.
Wow.
And then do the shinap and other things. Okay. So they still come here.
They still come here.
3 years.
Okay.
To call our patient.
Okay.
Wow.
So this plan, is this the layout of the...
Yeah, this is the mode of the fort, yes. So this was the plan of the fort. The mode.
Okay.
This was how the fort was before the sea destroyed part of it.
Okay.
So, slave trade was a trade by barter. They were using brandy, whiskey, mirror, gun, and gunpowder in exchange for slaves. And later on, they start using cowrie shells. So 500 of this by
one slave.
500 of this by one enslaved Africans in those days.
But this is just from the sea.
Yes. So getting it, you have to dive under the seabed. So getting it was difficult at that time. So 500 pieces of this by one enslaved female slave.
Wow. This is just something
300
by the female
for the male slaves.
Wait, this is just the sea here.
Yes.
So why?
So 500 by the female, according to him, and 300 by the male.
So getting it, if you don't know how to dye it, how will you get it?
Wow.
So getting it was very difficult.
Wow.
So 500 of this by female slaves and 300 for the male. The female were more expensive just because over there they produce, they give birth, and they were sold to other plantation owners.
Like to keep giving birth, and the idea was to be what?
And this is what we call CD or CDA. The accounts they call CDA, and we call it Pochi. So when you have a lot of this, it means you are a rich person.
Wow.
Pochi top. So that's how we call it. Pochi. So when you watch the 10 CDs note, we have this on it.
Okay.
The 10 CDs note, we have this on it. Yes.
I'll try to see if I could find
this
that
is
to put up the
smoking
photo.
pipe, they used to smoke
10
the
CDs
tobacco.
note.
The gun they used to capture the slaves.
So I'll get you those details. So you don't.
And then there's tool taken from our chief because they say no, they will not allow them. So what happened? The town was destroyed. That led to our people moving from here to where they are now, Abosuma. And they celebrate the Pepta Soma Tutusa over there for their migration from here to that end.
Okay.
So the war they fought with the Danes is called Sabadri War.
Sabadri War.
Yes.
So what's the meaning of Sabadri?
Sabadri swallow. It's a bird. Yes.
Okay.
I'll show you the bird.
All right.
Yes. And these are the drum used to waken the slaves. They wake them up in the morning, anytime. So they beat the drum to wake them up.
Okay.
And then the stool taken from our chief because they say no, they will not allow them. So that the chief was killed. the name of the chief is Toby the Gani. Toby the Gani. He was killed. Yes,
He was killed
and the stool.
because they wanted to take
The stool, yeah, the stool that they used to install him was also taken and kept over here to today.
So this is the stool.
Yes,
It's a wooden stool. Right?
yes, it's a wooden stool.
So why?
You know, Southern South, we install our chief with stool. When they take the stool from it, they destroy you.
Okay.
So the stool was taken and kept over here.
Okay.
Yeah. The northern side of Ghana, they Erskine their chief.
Erskine, yeah.
Yes, that's what they call the Erskine men.
Erskine.
Those are the artist impression. Artistic impression. Those days there was no camera, so they draw. So these are the drawing about how they were captured, brought here, and finally transported to America. So these are the pictures showing how they were captured across the lagoon. That's a, you see, and then the branding of the slaves, the chains and shackles used, and then this is how they arranged them in the lower deck of the ship.
Okay.
And these are the watered ones were thrown into the sea.
So they arrange them like
Sardine.
sardine. Wow.
Or book in a shelf.
Wow. And then I can see unwanted slaves thrown into the sea.
Yes.
Why?
Sick, and the dead ones were thrown overboard.
The weak, sick, and the dead ones were thrown overboard. Wow. Okay. This is it's happening.
So when you watch it, let me summarize the picture you have just seen over there. This was how the fort was. This is how they transported them from the north all the way down here.
Okay.
In chains and shackles.
And they are still carrying loads.
Yes. And then they were taking, this is how they brand them. They used red hot iron with the name of the company on it to burn marks at the various part of their body. They were taken down to be arranged this way. This is how they arranged them. In the lower deck of the ship, they beat them. They used horse and dog to chase and then criminal slaves in those days. The weak, sick, dead ones were thrown overboard. To prove,
to show to the
to prove that the purchase, they cut their ears and send it there to prove that they are purchased.
like they cut the ears off or part of the ear.
Yeah, all they cut the ears.
Show me how which part they cut.
They cut the entire of this, the two of to show purchase over there.
So slaves that were purchased, they didn't even have ears.
No, the weak, sick, dead ones. When before they
would throw you into the sea,
yeah,
they will cut off
your
ears to prove that you were actually purchased, but you were weak or you died.
On the way.
So that's a form of accounting.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there's a receipt.
What is this illustration
So
for?
they put on the mask so that people cannot easily identify them. So the raiders, so that they will not be easily identified.
The slave raiders.
Yes. And this one they put around their neck to prevent them from escaping.
Okay.
It's heavy metal. When they put around your neck, you cannot escape from them. And then inside the dungeon over here, they mix the tribe so that they will not communicate, plan to escape from them.
Okay.
So that they will not understand each other.
Wow.
And over here, this is a spine of a blue whale. This is a spine of a blue whale. You know, when they are taking the slaves, they use the canoe, the small boat,
Okay.
to transport them to the ship. Yeah, to the ship, yes.
Okay.
Because the ship cannot dock because of the shallowness of our coast.
Okay.
So they use the boat. So the whale always capture the boat,
Okay.
the small boat, making our people escape by swimming. So they kill the whale and then the bone remain here.
Oh.
Yes. Because the whale was saving our people.
Okay.
So they regarded this as an obstacle.
But the Africans saw it as some form of spirit.
Exactly. So this is a bone. This is not a rock and other things. You can get closer and have a look at it. This is a bone.
Ah, look at that.
Bone of a whale.
Yes. That's the marrow. You see, this is a real bone of a blue whale.
Let me hold.
Yeah, we can
Let me hold it.
Yeah, hold it and see. Yes.
Oh, it's not heavy.
Yes.
I thought it was heavy.
No.
If it was a stone, man. So for the first time, I've held the spine of a blue whale.
Yes.
So which year was it killed?
Oh, since almost about it was here about 3 centuries.
Okay.
Yes.
300 years.
3 centuries now.
Wow.
So this is what they used to weigh the slaves to see how heavy, strong, yes, they are before they buy. So the way the slaves were determines their price in those days.
Okay.
And the way that they are about to be transported, they weigh them again. If you're not up to the required sum, or you're sick or something like that, they tie block onto your back, throw you into the sea. Because they fear that leaving you, you will reveal their secret. What transfer over here to the outsiders?
Wow.
And this is what they used, the governor used to keep his document. This is the safe.
Okay.
He used to keep his document, jewelry, and other items. This is the bed the governor was sleeping on.
This is the governor's bed.
Yes. And this, he was taking water from this.
Okay.
And this is the seat the governor was using to.
Okay. So this one, can you open it?
No, it's locked now.
It's locked. Are there other things inside?
Yes, we have something. As much we open it, but it's locked. We have a problem with the key. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And there's the picture, the actual picture of the
Of the fort, yes.
Okay. Beautiful. Oh.
So this is what they used to grind the corn. There was no corning machine. So they rely on this for their corn flour. So they mill the corn over here. And this is what we call ete in our language. Yes. So they mill the corn with this. And they'll be in chains and shackles.
That's the beginning.
Yes. So they selected some of the slaves to do the cooking. If the shipment is ready, all of them were loaded into the ship and transported.
Those who are doing the cooking.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's the cooking pan. This is where they make the fire. And the cooking pan and where they make the fire. This is the kitchen.
Okay.
And that's the store where they store the food that they cook for them.
Wow.
And this the water system where the water
pass.
they harvest the rainwater.
Okay.
Yeah, so
this is a reservoir.
A reservoir, yes.
Okay. Wow.
Let's see that.
This is interesting. Like you just be in your home country and somebody will see you as a commodity.
Yes.
It's like lack of respect.
They don't respect us at all.
Oh my God.
So this is a male slave dungeon. A male slave dungeon.
Okay.
So let's enter the male slave dungeon. Yes. So over here, they secure the slave by two. They will chain one right leg to another left leg. They secure them by two.
Okay.
But both of our legs will be chained, yes, like this, to this. So they use their fingers to scratch both the wall and the floor. They wanted to dig into the building and escape from them. The chains over there were used to chain their neck, their leg in those days. And this one they used to carry the dead ones, the hat used by the slave masters. And that's the key they used to unlock the shackles. That's the key used to unlock the shackles. So they were taken to North America, Central America, West Indies, and South America to work for them in tobacco, coffee, cotton, sugar, mining, rice, plantation. So between 1650 and 1860, approximately 10 to 15 million enslaved people were transported from Western Africa to America. Most were shipped to West Indies, Central America, and South America. So South America, 5 million, West Indies, 4.5 million enslaved Africans.
Okay. What of North America?
Yes.
Okay, North America is 0.5 million.
Yes.
Okay. That is now there.
Yeah.
So we have slaves going to New Mexico, New Orleans, Charleston, Richmond, and New York. Oh my God.
In 1992, the chief of Keta, the paramount chief of Keta, Toby James Oklu, the fourth, the chief of Keta, apologized for their involvement. Yeah. So slavery and its lingering consequences must be kept in our mind so that we are guided away from such devastating incident in our history.
Toby James Oklo,
Yeah.
the fourth. But we also James Oklo.
Yeah.
So are you a royal?
Royal, yes.
Oh, so you are Toby?
No.
You are not Toby. So this is the door of the gate of no return.
So this is a gate of no return.
Mm.
Through this gate of no return, our ancestors lost contact with family, friends, name, culture, identity. If you are Kojo, you become Johnson, Smith. The gate of no return.
So the gate of no return can also be described as the gate of no identity, lost identity. You were just, but they couldn't change one thing:
No.
the color of the skin.
Yes, oh, yes.
They could change the name, yes.
Yes.
They could change the location, yes. But the color of the skin was preserved.
Yes. So over here, the material they use, they use oyster shells. The yellow ones were brought in as ballast. They ballast the ship. They give extra weight to the ship.
Okay.
So, and they use the enslaved Africans to construct the fort.
Wow.
Yes. As you can see, the
wall is very thick.
Yes.
There's like 2 feet thick.
Yes. And the other one here is about 3 feet. So this is one of the dungeons where the strong slaves
were kept.
Yes. And that's the only source of air and light.
The strong slaves, like the commercial ones.
Yes, commercial ones. Strong slaves were kept over here.
They were taken from there.
They'll be in this condition for a month or two until the ship arrived. So they stay here.
Why do you think they kept the strong slaves here?
You know, those who tried to trouble them, they were kept over here.
Wow.
Those who tried to escape from them.
You can't escape.
So a lot of them die over here through heat, suffocation, and dehydration. Diseases, malnutrition, and brutality.
Which one?
Yes, written by some of the African American around 92.
Until the lion has his
historian, the hunter will always be a hero. Until the lion has a historian, the hunter will always be a hero. We must write our own stories. We must tell our own stories.
So that's the shackle.
Yes. We used to chain some of them at that time.
Wow. But we are free.
The sea have taken 3/4 of the fort.
Okay.
This is half of the fort we are seeing today.
Okay.
Yeah, so bigger part is in the sea. You know, we suffer in the hands of the sea for so many decades. Yes. So from here to the sea is about 4 to 5 miles away.
Okay.
But now, look at where the sea is now. The sea destroyed almost a house is over here. Where I was born, it's inside the sea there.
Okay.
Yeah, so the sea destroyed our house in 1984.
1984.
Yes. So Kata is the lowest point in Ghana. We are below the sea level. Unlike Accra, Cape Coast, they have a rocky coast. They have but we have a sandy coast.
Okay.
Yeah, so they named the town Kata, meaning the top of the sand.
The top.
Batka, yes. Batka, yes.
The top of
the sand, yes.
Wow. So, Mr. Is there anything else again?
Let's see the top. The man you can see.
Wow, this is a magnificent architecture.
Just watching without saying anything. It's because I'm taken back because of the magnitude of what we went through as a people. So I will just sit here and say nothing and just watch.
Are you going up?
Yes. See the thickness of the fort. Yes.
Yeah.
When you watch,
So this
when
like
you watch the window to tells you how this thing is.
it's like 1 feet, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4, like 5 feet thick.
Yes. You see, so they put this material in between the walls to save us some proof. Like when they are in and they are screaming, it will not be here outside.
Ah, so this is a soundproof.
Yes.
Installation.
Oh, today I'm a governor.
Yes. No.
This is the governor's chambers.
Yeah.
So he stand here like this and look at the girls bathing.
Definitely.
Oh, I see.
Send me that one.
So this the cannon.
Mm-hmm.
This one they used to defend the fort against attack
From other
Yes.
slave masters.
Yes. The local also attacked to rescue. No, the Europeans were fighting among themselves for territory. So they were also protecting their trade with the cannons surrounding the fort. And this is why the governor of the fort live. This is the office, residence.
Of the governor.
Yeah.
Okay, and that open there, was it also
That's a residence
that's the resident?
Yes.
Okay.
of the governor. Yes.
Wow. What's that metal there for?
That's the flag.
That's where they put the flag on.
Yes. That is flag.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Mr. James, looking at all the happenings here and you being a tour guide and also being coming from the royal family that you don't even know the name, or maybe you may know some of the chiefs who were involved, but like knowing that like our ancestors has been involved with this and having this history here and you coming here all the time to talk about it and everything that you've shared with me today. In fact, I have chills and all that. And then I also feel that this is a very good thing because when I started this project, one of the things I am trying to do is not to tell the story. So when I get to a place, I want the people those who are there, to tell everybody the story. So that's the whole thing. So now, as you are here, how do you feel about this whole thing? Like, how do you feel about this whole thing that at this time and at this point, and people still even want to travel out? Like, it's like you are free, but you are not free, and all those things. So, how do you feel about it, and what do you want to say to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora?
Yeah.
Let's
hear.
The story needs to be told so that we don't repeat what transpired in those days, the slavery. So that's where the paramount chief of Quetta, Toby James Oglu, the fourth, apologized on behalf of the people of Quetta and then the Anglos that slavery and its lingering consequences must be kept in our minds so that we are guided away from such a devastating incident in our history in 1992 before he passed on to glory. So all this, the place is heavy. No, but the story needs to be told. Yes, that's why I'm here always telling the story that this should not happen to humanity again.
Never again.
Thank you. So I'm very, very touched. I'm very, very sad, and this is a story that I wasn't expecting to see here. But looking at the things that has happened here, what I would say is that let's keep fighting for freedom.
So, the way our tour guide tell the story, he is very good in his description. I really was taken back. And please let me know if you want to see more videos like this, because this is, I believe, is very educational and also inspirational, because we as a people was kidnapped and abused and taken across lands and seas. Many did not expect us to survive, but here we are. And it's good for us to now see the journey that our forefathers took and to value our existence and to say never again. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And have a wonderful day. Into the thing, people are not subscribed. Please subscribe. And the subscription